I got my little I got my little flash drive. My daughter put two things on it so far. I recorded two of the shows,
Okay.
so she can put them two on there.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna put this one on there today.
Okay.
You can buy the flash drive with so many minutes on it.
Oh
So
yeah,
many,
yeah.
okay.
I'm with so much,
So much space. I mean,
so much space on it.
okay.
And you still keeping me now. I wanna thank you because you've been good to me, Lord. You've been good to me, Lord. A lot of times that's all we can do is just wait. I remember back in 1995, I like to lost my mom. But ain't God good, y'all? Ain't God good, y'all?
Which McCoy will come and call today, but be some stuff. Y'all leave Donald Trump alone. I agree with Trump, right? He couldn't do that. That's not his type. He's gonna answer the question. That's not my type. He say no. Trump.
Got what he was looking for.
See, I can't talk about none of y'all out there, but my mama been good to me. The doctor said my mama going to stay in a wheelchair for 6 long months. But my mama rose up out of that wheelchair in only 3 months. Somebody ought to give God some praise. Ain't God good? Ain't God good? Ain't God good? When he woke me up this morning, all I did was wave my hand. When he put food on my table, all I did was wave my hand. When he put a roof over my head, all I can do is just if I couldn't say one word, yeah, I'll just wave my hand.
Ain't God good? Once again, Mr. Delaney Key Sr., 93, happy birthday to you. Also, happy birthday, Miss Alice Butler. That's coming from your husband and your children. 85. God bless you. Once again, here's the tribute from Mr. Tim Rogers. Tribute in memory of his wife. Song entitled Made for You. And y'all, I got to get up, get on out of here. About to put my feet on the floor. The big white hat out the door. But before I leave, y'all know what we got to hear. What we going to hear, Bro J? Trigger. We going to hear Trigger. Get ready to make room for the open line. What you got to have? An open mind, huh? Yeah, yeah, get ready for the open line where you got to have an open mind. But here is Tim Rogers, the song entitled Made for You. I'm sorry, that's made for me. Baby, to me, what to sing about? Really mean to me? Listen. 883. Come on. What, that was Lee Williams and his group? Well, you didn't say which one. Which one? No, that was Lee Williams. Wave my hand. Wave your hand. Wave my hand. Yeah. Yeah. But which one? Which Lee Williams song? Because that's one of his songs. Yeah, that's yeah.
Trying to make it right. That's what. So we talk about this guy. He went to Lord. And scripture. And then he came 46.
Mm-hmm.
Lands and everything. And he making laws. So when somebody argue about something, I got this. Shout out to the people employee of the
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they got a bunch of them. I just need to know which one. Yeah.
so you gonna analyze the burning that came down. This is the trouble thing right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready. Yeah, that's true.
uh, trouble in my way. Jesus, that trouble in my way. With that, it start off. Jesus will fix it.
I know, and that's what I was thinking. They don't want them recording stuff.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
that's all I got right there on that one. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Brother G, can I do this right quick?
Yes, it's got people from.
That's far, far.
It's got people from.
That's what, like 10 feet right there.
There's no other state has that.
But they say somebody mirrors the Indiana.
Come on, come on, come on.
Oh, that's crazy.
Kill me.
Hey, that's stop people from filming. But if you're filming for 25 feet, even if you put it on the closest, like,
Past the house.
yeah, yeah, it's going to the ceiling. Let's say if it passes the chamber, it would then move to the ceiling. Oh, they have debate in the house on Thursday, yeah.
I wish I could too.
Mr. Delaney Key, I hope this was the one. Sounds of Mr. Lee Williams. Jesus will fix it. Y'all, we got to make room for an open line. Well, you got to get ready to have an open mind. Sister Khadijah is standing at the door waving a bat. But we got the attorney. I'm going to call my cousin. Sue! You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Brother Jay, we going with the open line.
The Open Line Radio Show is supported in part by Finders Keepers, the place with your residential hardware needs, small engines, outdoor power equipment, bathroom accessories, electronics, lighting, plumbing, and everything in between. Located in the Southern Development Office Building, at 1006 Surrey Street, Lafayette. Telephone 337-780-8149. That's Finders Keepers.
We want to remind you that the Open Line Radio Show is powered by Finders Keepers, 1006 Surrey Street, Lafayette.
KIEE, the Louisiana Superstation, presents the community's #1 radio talk show, The Open Line. If you have an open mind.
We are interactive and live. Call us at area code 337-534-0036. That's 337-534-0036. On the Open Line Radio Show on KIEE 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana.
Put down those guns and pick up those books. And listen to what I'm getting ready to put down.
Said the times are a-changing, making your mark, and now you're in charge to own what you're making. Don't need a hand, be your own man, keep on believing, don't need nobody in the way.
You got this people. Good morning, Hotep Habarigani. Assalamu alaikum. How are y'all doing out there? All right, we're going to go ahead and start the show off right now with Attorney Dwa. Attorney Dwa, go ahead and give your non-claimer, and we're going to just roll.
Good morning, y'all. Is my mic on?
Yes.
It's on? Okay. Good
I'm
morning.
seeing.
Glad to be back in the studio. As usual, this is Attorney Dwazendra Smith. Let me give my usual disclaimer. Any information obtained here today is strictly informational. No attorney-client privilege or relationship has formed. If you need to get in contact with me, you can contact me at 337-534-4020. Once again, 337-534-4020.
Yes. And so, right. All right. And so we're going to just go right up into the program. A cowboy preacher ran over. He was attending to the last minute caller. We're going to do this stuff right. Like when they have last call for alcohol, we're going to go ahead and say, last call to call in at 5 minutes to 9. Thank you. Attorney Dwight, well, you want to get right with it?
Absolutely. I've not been in the studio in person in a couple weeks. What questions y'all got for me?
Well, I never put you out there like that, but brother.
I mean,
Jay
I've been on the
did.
phone.
Yes.
So listen,
yes.
here's the deal. When Brother Jay will call me, I'm on the phone. If y'all don't hear me on the phone, y'all can blame it on Brother Jay.
All right. We definitely will. That's the best one to blame it on, and everything. Attorney Dwyer, one of the big thing in the news is dealing with past President Donald Trump. So since he was not found guilty of rape, why do the excessive amount that he has to pay $5 million? How does that work?
So that's a good question. So what people don't understand is you have the criminal law and then you have the civil law. So the rape would be criminal law, but you still can bring a civil suit for damages. So if you recall, like the O.J. Simpson case where they had the criminal case and then they had the civil case where her family and Ron Goldman's family was given some money because, because the jury found that they owed some money.
Right.
So makes sense. And it's not double jeopardy because it's two different things because it's criminal law and it's civil law.
Yeah, well, to me, not really. If I'm found not guilty, then why am I being made guilty to pay that amount of money?
Right, and that's a good point. So you're not guilty on the criminal charges, but civilly, which is some other type of allegations, you can be found, I guess, guilty on that.
Okay, and
found at fault because that's the language that you use for civil terms.
And civil term is like I said something about you that was out of your character or was not the truth about you, and because I wrote a book and you lied about it, that's kind of like where we at.
That could be. What you're talking about is more so defamation, though.
Oh.
And I think we've spoke about this before. So with defamation, that just depends on who you are. So if you're trying to defame, former President Obama versus me, two separate things. So he's on a higher level. So the defamation could really do something to his character, make him lose money, different stuff like that versus old regular Joe. So it just depends on who you're talking about.
Good morning, Attorney Dwyer. Brother
morning.
Jay here. Thank the staff and management of Southern Development for helping him put on this wonderful show. And by the way, Attorney Dwyer, great to have you back in the day after the verdict. And by the way, Sister Khadijah, she's not my type.
Oh.
What kind of answer you give at a deposition like that? You should say, no, it wasn't me.
Right. Well, yeah.
And why you say, well, Hollywood stars, when they say that term, grab them in the you know what?
Yes.
All the Hollywood stars do that. Don't say anything. Lawrence O'Donnell on the MSNBC show, who's a lawyer, said that's the most dumbest thing you could say. Where was his lawyers when he gave the deposition?
Right, and that's what I was going to say.
That
was not proper prepping by the attorneys. Because
yes.
definitely should have been told.
Yeah, we have a call already. I wanted to say something, but I'm gonna wait until after the caller. You're on, caller.
Yes. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. What I want to ask is, a while back, this mayor out of Youngsville, I think, fixed a ticket for this woman, let her go without giving her a ticket or whatever.
Yeah, correction, it was it might have been more like the police chief. That's the accusation, the police chief.
Well, he admitted that he fixed tickets for other people in his in the office. Should he be charged with fixing those tickets?
Well, I said it last week. Much like what Donald Trump said, if you're listening, you can find me 11,000 votes when he was saying it out to the. Well, I said on the show last week, Feds, if you're listening, he's admitting to something, some form of corruption. Maybe the feds are listening. I know right now there's been several meetings that the city council of Youngsville want to investigate the chief, but the chief, having an elected position, has said that he did favors for everybody. So there's a lot of, accusation. There's a lot of what we would say, because we don't want to be we don't want to be accused like Donald Trump of saying something about somebody on this station, but there's certainly a lot of information out there that the feds might be interested, federal, when I say feds, might be interested in. So that's all I
got
can say.
another question about this teacher who they arrested, and I thought they do background checks on these people when they're hiring them.
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, different agencies and facilities do different background checks. So some might do a surface level background check. Some may be deeper, like for people that are in law school, stuff like that. So it just depends on the type of background check.
Yes, because they put him in with those kids, and now this big thing happened where the feds had to get involved in everything. Right. I think if they did that background check, which they say they did, and they found out that he had infraction at another school, so why would they hire him?
That's a good question. You know, only we don't know who know the answer to that one, but yeah, that's a good question, caller.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Now, the caller brought up about Youngsville. I wanted to Youngsville. Okay, that's the chief of police that came out and he had showed, you know, a list. He had a list of papers of favors that he done for so many of the council people or people like in general. I mean, that's not nothing shocking. There's always been under table, underhanded dealings, particularly when it come down to people in the public. And if you don't have the right name, the right color, you just about damned if you do and damned if you don't. And everything. So I wanted to get that out because if you look at the 16 JDC, the 15 JDC, all these
there's a big corruption in the 15 JDC right now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there's been corruption with the other 16 JDC.
And
also,
Sister Khadija, I want to say shout out.
Happy birthday, Deanie.
No, she's been chosen the Charles M. Burke 2023-2024 Support Staff of the Year. Miss Bernadette Stephen, our guest host here on the Open Line. Shout out to Miss Bernadette Stephen, better known as gospel artist Miss Deanie. Shout out to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations, Miss Deanie. Congratulations. Where's she at?
No, she's not. She's
okay. She's not
well, who's that on the phone?
Oh, okay.
Sister Khadija, ready to go today.
Carla, you have a question I'll come at you on. I know you're not Miss Deanie. You're on.
To the caller earlier who said about the hiring the teacher with no background check, you got to understand that is a white teacher. And besides, the school board are having problems with shortage of teachers for less pay. So they're taking anybody that's white, and they think that is right. And I got to comment on what y'all was talking about with Donald Trump and him losing his so-called battle. But Trump owns almost 119 federal judges, and he owned 2 of the Supreme Court judges. He will appeal this. This was a waste of taxpayers' money. Instead of trying to legislate laws to get us out of poverty and everything else, we studying on Donald Trump to try to dilute him for next year's election. And the Democrats are spending so much money on ignorant stuff till it doesn't even make sense for people to be paying attention to all these charges they bring in Trump through, knowing they cannot prosecute him and win with these allegations they have. So if we don't wake up and realize and make our legislators pay attention to what's really going on with poverty and racism in this country, we are going to get distracted by following Trump and everything else that's happening in our government, who are the true criminals passing these crime bills against the people instead of the legislation who don't know how to legislate. So we got to wake up. Thank y'all.
Yes, and it's so many.
That was a suit brought by a private individual against a public figure. It wasn't by any particular entity. Jean Carroll, the suit against Donald Trump. That was civil. But speaking of, he mentioned legislative. Where was legislative body? At least the progressive or the people who are supposedly for criminal justice reform and police reform in the state of Louisiana. They are trying to advance a bill that would make it illegal to be within 25 feet of police advances. In police, 25 feet of police. It advances on the House floor. Now, you see, this is the thing, Sister Attorney Dwyer. I got a list of statistics about Louisiana. Sister Khadijah got it on her desk. From Newsweek, and that's taken from various sources, the Pew Institute and different universities. It ranks Louisiana overall in the state 1 to 50, meaning 50 would be the worst. Louisiana is 50th in almost every conceivable major category. Education, 46. And they just talked about giving teachers a pay raise. And hey, I'm not against teachers getting a pay raise, but you got to be rewarded for doing something great. Louisiana has consistently been at the bottom. And it don't have nothing to do with pay raise. It has more to do with the mentality of the people in Baton Rouge. Louisiana's number one in crime and bad outcomes, gun violence. Go to the Newsweek website and look at the statistics with Louisiana. So when they come, they just voted themselves a pay raise, right? The Louisiana legislative body just voted them a pay raise, but they won't pass a minimum wage supplement bill to raise the minimum wage.
And a large amount of pay raise. That's ridiculous when I heard.
So all our problem, the caller is right, all our problem lies within the people who make the laws in this country and in the state. Louisiana is consistently last, and the legislative body should be proud of that. You guys always win the last place race. You guys are very proud. So when they have election, when we got people running for state office, come and beg for your vote and urge you to vote, ask them about these things. Pull out these statistics and show them where it's never improved. So that's doom and gloom, but, I mean, what else you got else to talk about?
Yes, indeed. That is exactly sure. Now when it come down to multi-billing, Attorney Dwyer, particularly, what is the multi-bill process?
So that's something that the DA's office handles, and what they're talking about is different bills of information, different charges, different ones, depending on what they're trying to charge somebody with. So the DA's office looks at the facts, and they figure out whether or not that's something that they want to bill or not. We have another caller?
Yes. Caller, you're on. You have a question or a comment?
Yes, Louisiana is number one in crime because they're number two in poverty. Yes. And the biggest thing that we got to fix is poverty to get rid of crime, who we all letting the legislators, who are the criminals, create these crimes by keeping people in poverty. And white people, is up to y'all to talk to y'all representatives who are the ones putting y'all in poverty just for other people not to have their liberties. And we got to preach this to the white people because they really think their legislators are making benefit for them, not knowing it's creating debt and poverty for everybody under them. They are allegiance to the corporations and everybody else. Please explain that, please.
Yes.
She's not my type. I mean, that's a good defense, almost. You mean what would be his type? No, but really, those lawsuits. I mean, the news cycle right now is that's what the news media. That's what they strive on, and I gotta think it's a wonder they want Donald Trump to run some. You hear all of this hype about they wanting to Donald Trump because this will sell advertising time on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. That's gonna sell advertising. Because trust me, a lot of people watch that show. And that show is still playing from 2019 and beyond. So you got to check that out. But as far as on a local scene, we know there's 800 new bills they were trying to advance in the Louisiana legislative body. Pay attention to what's going on in Baton Rouge. Sister Khadijah, you know you got some important information from the ACLU. Hopefully we have them on the line in the second half. We might not get them on, but we'll try to get them on. There's another town hall meeting
Oh,
by
yeah.
the Justice Department.
Yes, yes. There's another Department of Justice town hall meeting in Baton Rouge, May 16th at 7 p.m. at Southern University Law Center, 2 Roosevelt Steptoe Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The United States Department of Justice, DOJ.
Particular arm of the Justice Department is more with community relations. Now, if they were taking some type of, let's say, advice from the citizens and the activists and the lawyers for the groups like the ACLU, the NAACP, and they were taking that and applying that to changing the legislation. If you don't have the people in Baton Rouge trying to change the laws to reform police accountability, and especially the Louisiana State Police, because they're taking mainly the testimony about the Louisiana State Police. So if you ain't got that kind of change, Sister Khadijah, you have nothing. All you're doing is having a listening tour for nothing. And
Yeah,
I
that's what
applaud the group that's pushing that, the Sister Alana Odoms of the ACLU. But I know they're filing actual lawsuits against these police jurisdictions for people who are wrongly done in. And the case of Ronald Green still haven't been resolved. So, legislative body, if somebody come to you, ask you for your vote, ask you what you're going to do about Ronald Green, they're probably going to run away. They're not even going to answer the question. I'm just being a little bit pessimistic today on that.
Right. And so back to those Louisiana rankings and this House bill that we were talking about.
That's an incomplete article. Don't give me take my star of my paper for doing that.
Oh, no. So I was just going to give them a couple of the ranks on it.
Went out of whack.
I see that. So they have crime and corrections, number 50, economy, number 50, education, 46, fiscal stability, 38, healthcare, 45. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Infrastructure, 49, natural environment, 49, and opportunity, 48. And this House bill that we were talking about that would make it illegal to be within 25 feet of police, this advances to the House floor. This is House Bill 85. I was looking up the text of the bill so I could read it to y'all. So here's the text. No person shall knowingly or intentionally approach within 25 feet of a law enforcement officer who is lawfully engaged in the execution of his official duties after the law enforcement officer has ordered the person to stop, approaching, or retreat. For purposes of this section, law enforcement officer means any commissioned police officer, sheriff, deputy sheriff, marshal, deputy marshal, correctional officer, probation and parole officer, constable, wildlife enforcement agent, or park warden. Whoever violates the provision of this section shall be fined not more than $500, imprisoned for not more than 60 days, or both.
Wow. That is mainly and what other activists from around the country have said. That's mainly to stop people from actually getting clear and concise video
footage, right,
when they're engaging in some type of wrongdoing act. And even so, they got the potential, because based on what people are going through with the issue with the police accountability, that could also cause other problems when you come into the space of a law enforcement officer and he deemed that you are violating that new law. He can have you arrested and prosecuted and whatever. So this is a troubling bill.
Yeah,
there are laws already to protect. To interfere, to protect people, protect the law enforcement for interfering with the work of a police officer.
Correct. And this is troubling. Do y'all know how far 25 feet is?
Yeah.
That's very, very far.
Yes.
And you definitely would not be able to get any clear footage. You might be able to get some kind of footage, but, not as clear as, we've seen some recent.
And there haven't been a lot of cases where people were overly interfering with in a situation. Most of the interaction when people have caught police doing wrong was justifiable, because if that was the case of people using video cameras, they would have prosecuted those people using video cameras for interfering with the officer by causing a scene or something, So I don't know, sister.
Thoughts, Sister Khadijah?
Oh, yes. I'm just trying to figure out a few things here. There was a few PSAs I wanted to mention. with the VUB, the Veterans Upward Bound program for honorably discharged veterans. There is a program right there at ULL, and you could contact Miss Linda Cockwell at 337-482-5835. 337-482-5835. And it teaches you, bringing you back into the realm of things like with English, math, science. There's a few other courses, and it's very educational, and it's good for those that have been in the military to come back and get a chance to be with their camaraderie and stuff like that. That is fantastic too. And then there's another program that's Who's Missing from the Dinner Table, and that's with from New Chapter Push, Little Zara Baptist Church production, and that's going to be May 15th. They're going to have Evangelist Crystal Bell, Dr. Carol Crofton, Reverend Johnson, and the whole crew that's going to be on May 15th. That's this Saturday.
Next week.
Oh, it's next week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, then that's next week and everything. And they're going to be talking about, they're going to be doing like a prayer vigil, like for all the shootings and everything. And
Monday.
Okay, that's Monday. All right, May 15th is Monday. It's 3605 Old Generate Road. Carla, you have a question or comment? You're on.
I have I need to tell somebody my story.
Yeah.
And it's dealing with my son, Raheem Celestine, moved to Dallas. And I hear y'all talk a lot about Texas area. My son moved to Dallas. Last time I talked to my son was February the 7th. It's been made 3 months and a couple of days since I spoke to him. And Dallas is not doing anything about finding him. And I want to know if I could have shared that on the air.
Yes, ma'am. And we're so sorry that you're going through this. Yes, indeed. Go ahead.
I've been trying to stay in touch with the detectives. I have been getting so much information, like Instagram, off of my son's phone. I received a text from him on March the 21st, and they sent it to me at 3:57 in the morning, and then the message disappeared before I could even read it. So I don't know if that's somebody else that has his phone and wound up texting me and deleting it, or if they was just holding my son at the time. But I know it's a lot of foul play involved, and I've seen reactions from his girlfriend he was living with that a mother wouldn't have never seen from somebody that she meet for the first time. And it got me dying inside.
Yes, ma'am.
And I need help because the detectives told me he paid my son the phone in a complex where he would hang out. That's most likely where he was living. So I said, they have a search team looking to come in and start searching for him. He said, oh, we done looked all in that area already and we ain't find nothing. And I was like, oh, wow. Where do we go from here?
Now,
and it's just nothing being done.
Okay, so what is your son's name?
My son's name is Raheem, R-A. This is how they spelled it on his birth certificate, R-A-K-I-M, Jamal Celestine. And as long as he was in the Dallas area, a lot of people that was there that knew him called him Lafayette.
Okay.
And the last time I looked at my son, It was on a FaceTime. And he asked me questions that he already knew about. And then he said he would call me back. And he never called me back.
Okay, and how long ago this been?
This been February the 7th of this year. And he had 2 cars, a black box Jeep, and a white Charger. And everything he owned disappeared like my son never existed.
Oh.
And I'm really having trouble handling it.
Yes.
If they don't have nobody, there's nobody get charged for nothing.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to see your telephone number is what?
337 541
Yes.
4552.
4552?
Yeah, 4552. I live in Lafayette, and he was over there down there.
Oh. Ooh.
And I'm not really getting any help, and I don't know what to do. And I can't just go to Dallas and find him.
No, you sure can't. Well, we're gonna try after the show to try to get you in touch with someone.
There are several Texas rescue teams,
right,
and that you can actually call and make a complaint or to talk to these people.
I have received all kind of message. I recorded people calling me from Dallas that knew him. And I have done recorded their voice and everything. So the detectives told me that they can't go on hearsay. But I called him a couple of days ago, and he turned around and told me, have you heard anything? And I'm like,
that's what I'm calling you for.
You told me you can't go on hearsay.
Mm-hmm. Not only contacting us, members of the media, KIE radio show, I don't know if you reach out to the local media, KATC and the other one, KLFY, because they also start a media campaign, and that will generate interest. And even
the
your
local
representative.
I called them. I called the news people in Dallas and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I left my name. I left a brief message. I left my phone number, and they will not return calls to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried to reach out to a lot of people in Dallas.
The Dallas Morning News.
And I am not getting any help.
Well, I'm going to try to put you in contact with a couple of talk shows that does make an impact, the Rashad Richards Show and the Roland Martin Show. I got their direct lines to them.
Again,
I can use all the help I can get.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're going to hear from us after the segment is over with.
Khadijah, you got her information?
Yeah, I got her number.
Okay.
All right. Again, we are deeply sorry about that. No mother should have to go through that at all.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of that type of situation going on now in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is. There's a lot of killing going on in North Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And everything you hear is coming from the north side, the south side, that the detectives and cops are really working with. But anything go on in the North Dallas, they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
People are coming up dead, and this is the only thing that people got to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops just sit there and wait for information then to get out and do their jobs.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And it's just mind blowing. He's my youngest son. I dealt with a lot of that, but I never dealt with this one before, so it really shook me down, and I don't have no uplifting days.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we're going to call you after the show and try to give you some other numbers to contact.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
So that way, if you call me back, I can let you listen to a few people from Dallas explaining what happened to my son. And people names are coming up.
Yeah.
Even if it's their street names.
Yes, ma'am.
They are putting it out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We're gonna call you right after the show. Right after the show. All right.
I thank y'all so much.
Thank you, and we
From the bottom of my heart, I thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And we sorry that she has to go through this. Caller, you have a question or a comment?
I just want to say my heart goes out to a woman for her son. But if you all could recall, we still haven't gotten any real leads on Ellen Goody.
Yeah.
And she's been missing.
Yeah.
Yes, that
So,
is the truth.
I don't know, what has to be done for them to really start giving support to the parents and the family of these missing people, because it's like they'll talk about it for a while and then they'll just like they forget about them.
Yes, indeed.
So I don't know if there's somebody out there that maybe could start some kind of committee or try to get somebody that's going to really try to support the family to help them to have some kind of closure, for their family member. And thank you all, and y'all have a blessed day.
Yes, ma'am. You too. And it comes to mind our very own Portia Evans. She lost her only son in Dallas, Texas, and till today, she don't know who killed him or anything. So
Sometimes, Khadijah, a lot of young people want to take root and move to bigger areas, but bigger areas are now experiencing the same amount of crime in other areas. They all have crime issues. So be careful out there. You want to take root in another town thinking it's better. Sometimes it's not. That's just the order of the day.
Yes, caller, you have a question or a comment?
Good morning, Sister Khadijah. Good morning, Attorney Dwyer.
Hey, Brother
and good morning, Brother Jake.
Good morning, Brother Wallace.
I'm calling about, the future election of governor that Donald Trump supporting Jeff Landry. And we better make sure that we know who we getting ready to put in office as governor, because if not, we're going to have another Bobby Jindal return. And Jeff Landry is won't be a good governor for us. So all those that think he's going to be good, shame on us, And that was my biggest little excursion this morning, that I want to let everybody and make everybody aware of, Donald Trump endorsing Jeff Landry. I thank you guys for giving me this time. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too.
All the Giuliani people are coming to the top.
Caller, you have a question or a comment? You're on. You're on, caller. Okay.
I guess you could announce we are live on AOC Community Media now.
Okay. We've
been live, but we had some technical issues. We want to shout out to AOC Community Media, our media partners, having us on cable TV.
Yeah, yes. Caller, you have a question or comment? You're on.
Good morning. This is Miss Frida.
Good morning, Miss Frida.
I want to thank Attorney Dwyer for coming in today with y'all.
Oh, she said she want to thank
y'all have a good show this morning. Maybe, and all the people that's not registered to vote, they need to register to vote, because the man that spoke just now, he's telling the truth. And that's why that man is so quiet now, because he just know he's going to be governor. So they better get out and vote, because we're already, people of color already taking losses. It's going to be more losses. And I want to send my prayers out to the lady that called in about her son.
Yes.
I saw her story. About him on social media. I feel so sorry for her.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe one day, Sister Khadijah, you and Brother G, maybe y'all can do a segment on that one day, and that'll be the subject. And y'all will have like numbers for people to call.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You know, when there are people not found, just like you have numbers about suicide and stuff like that, suicide awareness numbers, they need numbers for that too.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And,
so I want to thank y'all. Yeah.
And happy pre-Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And caller. Okay. The lines are so. The lines are so.
We're gonna get you an AI-powered phone soon.
You see, that's when
artificial intelligence is coming.
That's when the lines are coming. And yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers this coming Sunday, even though it should be said
every day.
Every day.
Happy Mother's Day, Miss Joyce Barlow.
Oh, okay. Mom
and,
Joyce.
And Miss Shirley.
Shirley Broussard.
Shirley Broussard.
My mom.
Caller, you have a question or comment, and that's every day.
I have a question for the attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
A friend of mine went to get an apartment, and he did all the paperwork and everything. They charged him the fee and everything. But when he went back, they told him he couldn't get the apartment because he was a convicted felon. Should they give him his money back?
Oh, well.
Pay for the application fee?
So he went to get an apartment, and they found out that he was a convicted felon, and they told him that he couldn't have the apartment?
Yes.
Well, on the application, don't they ask?
Right, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah, well, he put on there that he was a felon when he brought back the paperwork.
Okay.
But they told him he couldn't get the apartment because of the background. And what he wants to know is if they could give him back his fee that he paid to do the application.
The problem,
since he's not getting the apartment.
Right, but the problem is it just depends on their policy, because I feel like some of that stuff is a scam too, because you pay all these application fees, all of this stuff, and people know they're not giving you those apartments and they just taking your money. Like some people have a no return policy on the application fee. So I don't know what the policy is, but I'm with y'all.
I heard from this representative out of New Orleans on the news that it's a scam. They're taking these people money knowing they won't get the apartment.
That's what I just said. It's a lot of them taking a lot of people money, and they know they're not giving people these apartments.
Yes, because he has a job, he's doing good and everything, but they just keep denying him a place to live.
Right.
Oh well,
that's a hard one.
Yes, and we just about lost for that. I mean, that's most likely why one of the reasons Louisiana is dead 50 when it comes down to some of the worst cities to live in.
Yeah. But it's ridiculous, because if he's already done his time, like, you continuing to punish him.
Yeah.
Just never.
And then the application fee, that's not no little. That's not no little
it's probably
$25.
about $50, huh?
Oh, I was thinking a little bit more.
If you pay a lot of those,
yeah,
that's some hundreds of dollars.
Yes, Sister Khadijah, remind me to get a fund for
He don't have that kind of money to just give like that.
Right.
Then he's going to go somewhere else, and they're going to do the same thing to him, I told him.
I mean, I probably would suggest that he ask them in advance if he would be able to get approved if he's a felon, and in that way he doesn't have to pay his fee and keep paying fees, and they know they're not giving him the apartment.
Yeah, that is a good scam.
Your lines are loaded today.
Yes, thank you, Khadijah.
Thank you.
I have a friend texting me, though. She's saying her understanding is some kind of law that was passed where they can't deny them housing because they're felons. So
yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Carla, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
And I'm not exactly sure what law that is, but I
Right.
mean, that's something that you might want to research and then take that with you and let them know that if that's the case, you can't deny me. This is unlawful.
No matter what the Louisiana state legislature do, I hope they violate some federal rules where maybe we could put some pressure on the feds to come in and those some of them laws to me look like they might be unconstitutional.
Carla, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
I have an update. Hi, I have an update on election timing.
Okay.
So it's good that we can watch what the legislature is doing now because all these people are up for election, especially in Iberia Parish. We've got the parish council; all those seats are up. The city council are up, and the state representatives and senators are up. So that means Blake Miguez, Bobo Ye, Marcus Bryan is up. Also, the sheriff of Iberia Parish is up. So that election is up. Those guys are already corralling their money, getting ready. So the qualification date for those elections are August the 8th through the 10th. So that's really the final date that anybody can join the election. And the fees are anywhere from $300 to $600 to get on the ballot. So it's good that we get to see Blake Miguez vote against teacher $2,000 pay raises. We get to see Bo Boye vote against paying teachers $2,000. We get to see what these people are voting for. We get to see them vote against people's human rights. Let's pay attention to that so that we can prepare and we can run people in the upcoming election. We get to see that when people become missing, our sheriff, like Kawan Charles, our sheriff, doesn't do anything to help solve these mysteries. We can get a new sheriff. We can, we had wonderful people like Mr. Porter run for city marshal. He barely got beat. So we can run good candidates and possibly displace some of these people that are doing some really, really awful things now. So the qualification dates again are August the 8th through the 10th. Let's just keep that in mind. Thank you.
Yes, through the 10th. And so there is some. Isn't there someone that's running against Tommy Romero for sheriff? It hasn't been declared yet? Oh, okay. All right. So it hadn't been declared. I just heard that the other corrupt sheriff was running against him with his right-hand man, going to be the Pac-Man out of Generate, whatever you call him, Sheriff, disgraced Sheriff Louis Ackle. Yes.
Well, there's so much to impact this election. But again, the concern should be people should be paying attention to what laws they're making. Even if we say we don't want to participate, we want to drop out and don't care. When you wake up on January 1st, you have them laws to deal with. And that's for the people who are not interested in changing or making things better.
Yes. Call it. You have a question or comment? You're on.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Your phone going in and out. You might want to get a little closer.
We can't.
You have bad reception. It's going in and out.
We can't understand you. Caller, we can't understand
maybe call back.
Yeah, maybe you could call back. Caller, you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I got a comment. Look, guys, I'm glad the white guy always informs us about politics and stuff, but we were talking about the legislator, and a young lady called about this guy that was a convicted felon, that these people don't want to give him any money. And Attorney Dwyer, I would like you to explain the 14th Amendment due process of laws after I'm finished with my next comment. But the thing is, we can go vote, but we're playing in a system that was created to keep people in bondage, especially black people, but now it's more white people in bondage. And they need our help to get them allegiance with power. And our biggest thing is we've been voting for almost 160 years and still nothing has changed for black folks. And we still want to think that these laws they are creating isn't a violation of our 14th and First Amendment. And yet still we allow these people to make laws, create them, pass them, and then it affects the black people, but it also affects the white people. And when it starts affecting the white people, now they try to change the due process of the laws. So we playing in a game of voting to give the white people more power over the other white people who still refuse to see us as first-class citizens, who they live off of. And we got to stop this welfare thinking and start doing our own thing, because we are the most educated, the most civilized people in this country, and to the white people. We need to make you understand that your politicians are the ones that got this country in poverty. With all these laws, we're worried about more transgender law. We're worried about alcoholics that going to bars selling liquor than getting y'all out of poverty and getting health care and medical care for everybody. So we don't keep telling people this. They won't understand it because these white politicians, whether they're Democrat or Republican, always gonna lie to get the black agenda, thinking that they are the saviors.
Okay,
we are the only people who can save ourselves. Please remember that.
Carla, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. I would like to know, why do prisoners be held almost a year before they go to court? This is in Iberia Parish.
That's not supposed to happen.
That's a good question. Now, yes, ma'am, that's a good question. While we do have the Speedy Trial Act and all of that, the reality of it is that the court system is just, I don't know, overwhelmed. There are so many cases, and it's like, even if you have a case that's set for trial, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to actually go to trial that day, because you have to impanel a jury. The lawyers have to do voir dire, opening statements, all of that, go through a trial. So that doesn't mean that the trial is going to happen that day. I mean, that's really, because I know as a defense attorney, the easiest way that I can explain it.
Well,
the court system is overwhelmed.
But you heard our lawyer, what she said?
Because some of my criminal clients don't understand that this is not a quick process. It's a very slow process.
Yeah, well, it's a very slow process.
Unfortunately.
We
try to speed it up and get the dockets moving. I know in my track, like, we moved the dockets, but still it's so many cases.
Carla?
And they steady coming each day. They're not stopping.
Okay, yes. Well, and you had what Attorney Dwa stated, and what I'm going to state is the fact that they want to, like, keep you in there as long as possible so that you could be humiliated, so that you could be want to give up on life and everything like that, so that they can continue to get the monies for keeping you captive. I was in that courthouse about 2 weeks ago at Iberia Parish. Full courthouse, full packed courthouse. You hear me? Packed to the T. And what they were doing, it's just ridiculous. I mean,
and he's been appointed a court-appointed lawyer because he can't afford a lawyer, but he haven't he said he haven't even talked to her. And it's just round and round. And I feel like I don't care what a person has done. Yes. It's still unfair for these young men to be held without going to court for a whole year. My son said there's men in there that's been in court for a whole year. I don't know what some of them done, and half of his charges, I don't know what they are. But it's ridiculous.
Oh, I agree with you. And then another issue is, like, you can file for a motion for a bond reduction, but then if the person can't make the bond, that's another issue as well.
And And what about when you don't have the money to make the bond and you want to make it on yourself? What's that called?
Well, they have where you can get with the bail bondsman and try to work something out with them, and then some people might actually have the money, but then you have some people that just don't have the means, that aren't able to get anybody. Because I have a couple clients like this. I mean, they were homeless before. If you don't have any money, and nobody to get you the money, I'm just saying, like, it's.
But I was told, there's a lawyer I don't know where he's from, but he's supposed to be looking into that. And that was before my son let me know that the lawyer was saying that he was going to be looking up into it because there's a lot of unfairness to some of these young men. You know?
Yes, and you with the you in the heart of the unfairness. When it comes down to the 16 JDC, they are ruthless. They're ruthless against us, but then other people, you know, they're let go and everything like that. But
I agree, because those are some of the arguments that I make in court. I mean, because the purpose of bond is to make sure that somebody is coming to court dates. But again, if they can't make it, if they don't have the money for it, like unfortunately,
so
you know, that's what it is.
So I wonder, you can't file nothing against.
Well, they have something that's called ROR, which is release on your own recognizance. But I mean, they're not going to give that to a lot of people, especially based on what the charges are. Like if you're talking about like a 1st-degree murder or 2nd-degree murder, judge is not going to release you on your own recognizance.
The Times is dictating everything.
Right.
And the age-old question you ask, is prison or jail, is it more of a punishment or reform? Some people stay in there who could be reformed. Some people are let out who you just got the punishment and go and do some more crime. So we got an overall crime.
And you have that too, recidivism rates, because the goal is supposed to be rehabilitation.
You got to ask that question. Does the Times dictate everything?
Right. You know, well, I'm having a hard time more so believing in this supposed to be law society and everything like that, because when you have people such as Robbie Vines that could, you know, from when you go through his record, and this is a picture of Robbie Vines he was the assistant district attorney in the city of New Iberia. You know, he retired, but he didn't. But he was able to retire. He's working for the tribe out in there. The
Chittimacha.
Yeah.
Chittimacha.
Yeah, Chittimacha. Yeah, he's working out there. When he was working out there, there was some. When he was working for him, there was some discrepancies there.
There's some actual statement attributed to him, negative statement he said.
It was not so much as negative statement that he said, but then he was representing the tribe, and he wasn't supposed to. So, you know, when we said, you know, the laws, you know, I'm just surprised that people still somewhat believe in this in this judicial system, when all the statistics states that, you know, black and brown people, you know, we're going to stay in there and stuff like that and continue to help them to get.
Well, the UN, the United Nations, just completed a tour study condemning police brutality. They put out, go to their website, Google it, United Nations fact-finding committee just did a multi-city tour of the United States in major areas and can come to the conclusion that police brutality against brown, well, they say black people. They mention prominently. They didn't mention a whole lot of other nationalities, but they mentioned black folks. Black people here in America is off the chain in so many words. I'm using those words, off the chain. So go check out the report. They condemned it. So that tells you something. We got town hall meetings all over the state. We just had one. You got to have one in Baton Rouge. To me, that's not even, you know, that's not even nothing. So when will police accountability and police reform take place? When you have people in the Louisiana House advancing criminal justice laws after they get through 10 years of criminal justice reform. Remember, sister, criminal justice reform. Remember, a lot of past legislative people who've been on this radio show talked about that. But yet they're pushing more laws on the book that don't even need to be on the book, you know, according to many organizations. So pay attention to what's going on in the Louisiana legislature. You might just wake up with some type of draconian law over your head when you roll down the highway. That's what we got to worry about. It's a real thing. It's a thing that will affect you.
It's dire. It's dire need. To me, you know what's going on. All of these little meetings and what to do. What you don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's already there. It's big as cuff. And
so you want to go back to the Donald Trump tapes? The amount of money you think she didn't get enough, or you think she should have got a little less?
Oh no, I'm fine with it. I was just wondering. I was just wondering, he wasn't convicted on rape, so then the other charge that he was convicted on was just lying. He been lying
And
all of his
well, he did say
presidency.
he digitally penetrated her.
Huh?
Digitally penetrated her. I mean, I'm using some descriptive terms on the radio. Well,
I don't know.
His fingers. Something like if you want to, I don't want to get too descriptive on the radio, but that's the term they use on CNN and MSNBC in the report. And also online, a couple of pages, you could go and Google it, so I'm not making up anything unless I go, I'm trying to quote from sources. And this is a show that we don't use a lot of, let's say, those type of descriptive terms on, and we try not to. But this is in the news, so when I was telling you about what he was sued for, that's a civil suit. That's a civil suit.
Correct.
Civil
and that's what I was explaining earlier, the difference in the criminal and the civil, right?
Yeah. So I don't know, and she got that case in by a loophole because New York rolled back the victim's right to sue people because the statute of limitation ran out.
Oh, yes.
And they went to the legislature and they wrote, just like Louisiana do with the laws, changed things. The New York legislature went back and changed the laws for make it able for her and other people in New York to sue for those type of damages.
Oh yeah, something like with the priesthood that you could do that too, like with the priesthood.
Mm-hmm.
Roll back. There's no statute of limitation on that, correct?
Well, in some cases, if you could prove criminal, that's no statute of limitation on criminal, right?
Right. It depends on like how old they were too at the time that it was done.
Mm-hmm. Wow, we got a lot to unpack, man. But in getting also to the young lady, I mean the lady who called about the missing
son, Rakeem
there are
Jamal.
many cases of people going missing in Houston. Houston has a lot of issue with people being killed. Dallas is, and those big city. I'm not telling people to pick up and pack up when you graduate, or a lot of people be graduating this fall and they want to go and try uncharted waters for jobs and job calling. But be careful out there. They're not used to the big city. The big city is different from this area, The only issue, you got a lot of space to shoot at somebody out here, but over there, you come up missing in a minute. I'm just saying,
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
They had a shooting in Hyman Park, and I'm bringing this up about I don't know whether there was a talk of some type of way to change the way people do gathering. The news channel alluded to, like, the promo was like, oh, they're gonna have some new changes to the way people are dealing with gatherings in local park, because I know in Hyman Park there was a shooting this past Sunday. And the thing is, they could change the laws, and they could change the laws without you knowing. I thought they already had laws on the book for gathering so many people,
I'm not sure, and I know like the various parks and venues, they have their own little rules. I don't know. But I mean, as far as them changing something without you knowing, I don't know about that unless they have something that says it's subject to change without you knowing.
So yeah, there was a shooting, and as we see more and more outside gatherings, you're going to have these things happening because the order of the day is gun violence. And they had that gun violence in Houston. Simply goes out to the families out there, and in Dallas. I'm sorry, Dallas, not Houston. So I mean, the gun violence, and it happened on the same day that wasn't talked about in Mississippi at a family gathering. I mean, a gathering outside in the park, but not that many people getting killed. So I guess the news media is more akin to, if it's over 5 people, it's a mass shooting.
Right.
So many things going on.
Yes, there's a lot of things that's going on. And so
You know some good news, sister? Mother's Day coming up.
Yes, yes. Well, every day is Mother's Day. Every day is Father's Day. No matter how you look at it, we don't get exempt from those particular days. But when it comes down to child support, Attorney Dwyer, you've continuously stated that always do a DNA.
Absolutely. Because if you do a DNA, then that will cut down on a lot of the strife and unnecessary contention later on. And I was telling y'all a couple episodes ago that they have this situation now where you can do a DNA test while the mother's still pregnant and it's not invasive.
Right.
I don't know. You're not too sure about that?
Can I give y'all another law that the House was making, another little well, is it really matters? Yes. House lawmakers approved a bill Monday that would back school employees who refuse to use a student chosen name or pronouns that differ from the ones given to them at birth. It would also allow teachers to overrule a parent's approval for their child to go by a different name. Wow. I mean, is it that important to put that law in the book? That's
you said that the teachers could overrule what the parent said? Read it again.
House lawmakers approved a bill Monday that would back school employees who refuse to use a student's chosen name or pronoun that differ from the ones given to them at birth.
Okay, well, I don't think that's right.
I'm not.
Maybe that's it's a run up to the transgender thing. I don't know. Maybe that's part of that.
That's exactly what they're getting at.
So I mean, they're concentrating on laws like that.
Teacher to tell the parents or the students that this is what you're gonna do, and then they'll be in trouble if they don't answer to what you're calling them.
Well,
I don't agree with
here's another one. College bartenders stop overhaul of Louisiana's minimum age law. That's for drinking. They want to raise the drinking age. So I don't know if you think that's a good one, but they had a lobbyist from the bartenders, the college bartenders. They went, see what I'm saying? When you want something done, you got to group as a people and go. They went and got it done. They went basically put pressure on the legislative body to block a probably more than likely a good law.
But here's my issue with it. But you can enlist in the Army at 18. Like really before that, if the parents sign off on it, but they have to wait until they're 21 or they trying to take it up till they can drink, that makes no sense.
Automatic weapon also, right?
Right, 21. that too.
Mm-hmm. And Louisiana lawmakers, they push aside a pro-family tax credit bill in the wake of the abortion ban. I mean, they just got so many laws that's convoluted with all kind of crazy stuff, and nobody knows about these laws. A community rejects a bill to shield pregnancy outcome from lawsuit with criminal consequences. Now, that's one you might want to look at, Attorney Smith, that even the attorneys don't know, sometimes can't keep up with what the lobbyists are pushing out there. Who are bringing these laws, Sister Khadijah? The lobbyists, or is a politician wake up and say, oh, yeah, we need this law in the book. Somebody cut in front of me on the highway, so I'm going to make sure anybody in the BMW gets cited. I mean, they make up laws as they go. That's all I could see.
Yeah.
Is there a need for another law in the book?
They don't need one for this. So this is talking about basically, this goes along with the abortion stuff and basically saying if the child is not born, it shields the parents and the medical providers from any criminal liability.
Oh, if the child's not breast cancer, they're saying that the screening guidelines should start at the age of 40 to 74 with you getting a mammogram, and it's still showing that a lot of black women still are being diagnosed with cancer when in actuality it could have been caught much earlier. Cancer and mammogram and colonoscopy, they're asking everyone to get a colonoscopy. Those that's over the age of 40 and have over the age of 40 and someone have had a lot of poke like my biological son has, you need to get you a colonoscopy taken. You need to get you a colonoscopy taken.
Republicans kill a $10 minimum wage proposal for Louisiana. I mean, all they wanted was a measly $10 raise from what is $7?
$7.25.
Right. I was about to say 25.
25 cents is worth nothing no more. Cause these I can't
But
get
that's
them sold at your
ridiculous.
shop.
Like even $10, that's not a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A measly $10, but they just gave themselves a pay raise. And well, the headline read Republicans. Now the Democrats, I don't know how they voted. You know, but I probably, you know, because there is a majority in that Louisiana House. And they were blocked, and they also blocked there were multiple efforts to raise the Louisiana minimum wage. So, I don't know.
Which it should be raised.
Right. Particularly they want to try to, like, keep good workers. I mean.
Well, the statistics show where Louisiana stands when it comes to economics. 38? That's pretty far down the
I think
line.
it was 38, right.
Yeah, so things, maybe that's why the kids are packing up and moving out. Louisiana has also
But
lost
that
population.
is because if you can get more money in Dallas, Houston, or Atlanta, other states, why not?
Mm-hmm.
It's even like with college as well. Like they want to keep kids here for college, but you know, if they can go out of the state for other stuff, I understand.
Also, they're passing different laws to change the issue with voting. I know in Mississippi, and even the things that govern you. In Mississippi, they passed laws where there's a separate jurisdiction, separate courts for Jackson happened to be 80% black and happened to be the capital of Mississippi. Well, certain jurisdictions don't have precedent in Hinds County, which is Jackson, right? Jackson, and there'll be almost like a separate court for white folks and black folks. Let's put it like that. That's what Rashad said on his show. So check that out. In Houston, Harris County, they're also changing the issue with voting and jurisdictions, similar to what they're doing in Mississippi, but on a different level. So you're seeing it everywhere. They're changing the lines. The people who are fighting to get to the finish line, people of color, people in the community, activists, they're changing all these laws because they want to keep people off balance. So
now in Baton Rouge, when you go to court, you could bring your cell phone. It must be turned off. You could have your little purse as long as it could pass through. And I find that process really, really good. It's showing that it's like they don't have nothing to hide. But in Lafayette, in New Iberia, St. Martinville, you can't bring nothing. You can't bring nothing. And that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's the law. Well, isn't all laws made to be broken and everything? How do you go about challenging that law when, of course, Baton Rouge been doing that for years?
And I know, like in Lafayette, at one point they were talking about maybe putting some lockers in the courtroom for people's phones and stuff like that. Because what if you have an emergency or something and you need to get to your phone?
Well, what is it? What's wrong with bringing your phone as long as you have it on vibrate? You know, because sometimes that's how some parents keep up with their children. You know, I'm gonna be in court all day. If something come up, you know, give me a call. You know, so I don't know.
Well, they're saying that people engage in being on social media and a lot of distraction. Matter of fact, they
and
just
taking pictures and doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing, recording. And
a lot of people on TikTok, which they want to ban off Wi-Fi at certain universities. TikTok, you know.
Call it. You have a question or a comment? You're on. Yes, you're on.
Yes, I'm listening to everything this morning that is being mentioned. And I would like to say this. That's why it's important when we go to the poll. And for those that don't vote, they need to get ready to the vote. And not only vote, know who you're voting for. And when I go to the poll, I voice my opinion right then and there. First of all, I check out each candidate, whether you're Republican or whatever you are. And like the gun control laws and stop the guns, you know, I look at it this way. When you got it happening in a house and cell, when you got a president of the United States and seek his boys and tell them to go to the Capitol, you can't for better with
the gun control law when it's happening in your own house. You know, that was bear spray that was used, that was guns, that was everything else right there at our Capitol in D.C. So how can you ask for better stuff about stop the gun, you know, control, take the gun guy back and all the other good stuff, and we allow the president to do what he wants to do. And yes, they make laws, the legislature make laws. It's like a jigsaw puzzle to me. I don't understand it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, caller.
Here's another controversial bill. You know, here where people like myself, I have an issue with secular and religious perspective. Now, the House passes a bill. The Louisiana legislature, the House, not the Senate. It has to go to the Senate. Passes a bill requiring God motto in Louisiana schools.
Oh, who?
The motto of God. It should be on label on everything in schools.
Oh, okay. Something they don't believe in.
They got to not believe in it if they're acting like God. I don't know.
Well, that's weird because there's supposed to be a separation of church and state. So, yeah.
Well, Louisiana. That's what I'm saying.
Which you can't pray and do all that, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, look how crazy this is. These laws that they're actually putting in effect because of the anti-woke culture. They're saying that everything that progressive people like myself are becoming aware of, that we had slavery, we had Jim Crow, we had the NAACP being run out of town in New Iberia. Awareness of things that happened in history, we woke, and they talked about in the Middle East. We got Ayatollah Khomeini and all of them. You remember that? They had authoritarian rule when it comes to religious perspective. Once you start letting people put their religious perspective on you, you become just like the people you condemning in the Middle East. And that's my problem with the state of Louisiana, wasting people time to put God in the motto, and we already know people have their own private religious perspective of how they see things. You know.
Well,
so I guess I'm gonna go to hell after saying that. Huh?
Well, they definitely didn't believe. Yeah, they definitely didn't believe in no God, because right there through integration, when they came to our schools, every picture that was up on the wall, which was of all black, they took it down and went put it in some kind of storage and everything. So if they had definitely believed that we all are equal or created equal, y'all could have leave all of those beautiful pictures that was on the wall of Clara Sparrow in Louisville, or all the other schools.
But this goes to the ridiculous of the Louisiana State Legislative Body, the Senate and the House. They both is equal. Black and white, they both is equal. And participating in things like that. I got to say that because it doesn't make any sense. All of these laws every year to change things, and it doesn't move the needle in the actual effect on the state of Louisiana. You see it in the statistics about Louisiana. It haven't changed anything.
But then on the flip side, there is "In God We Trust" on our money. So
yeah,
if you have that,
I trust my money in God. But then again, we don't use any money these days. Actually, money is not good. You ever heard the saying?
Most people
your
have
money is
cards.
not good in here. Actually, we're getting to the point. It's a true thing. Your money is not good at.
Right.
If you was to be stopped by law enforcement with, say, like 3,000 to 5, maybe less than that, they could confiscate your money. They could keep your money if you can't prove where it came from.
Right.
It's getting to that point. In Atlanta, in the airport, a lot of people don't believe in banking their money. A lot of immigrants from Jamaica and stuff. This guy from Jamaica was going to purchase some vehicles for his trucking business in Colorado. He got stopped at the Atlanta airport. They took his $20,000 down payment he had for one of the vehicles, and they kept it, and they used it, the Atlanta PD, which had a black police chief at the time, but that's their policy. If you can't prove where you got the cash from, but that was his saving from his other trucking business he had in the Georgia area in Fulton County. So this shows you how these people are when it comes to your money. Even money is not actually a guaranteed thing if you have it, so I don't know. You're listening to the Open Line Radio Show. We have a lot of stuff we unpack. We hope we ain't scared the people with all of the negative news about what's going on in the Louisiana legislature. I wish they had some good news coming. They were telling us we were getting a big pay raise. Attorneys were getting a pay raise. Talk show hosts were getting a pay raise. Sister Khadijah was getting a new everything.
Caller, you're on. You have a question or a comment?
I have a comment.
You're on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have a comment. I have to say they have a lot of things that's changing today, but one thing we can't ever change, we have to continue putting our trust in God, because they have, I don't know if some people have never heard the commercial. Reagan said he's trying to get people to get away from the church, and he is an atheist. He's not ashamed to say he's an atheist, and he also says he does not mind burning in hell. So we have to, if you trust in God and you're a Christian, you have to continue your belief, and you have to tell others to keep them from swaying over to his belief. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's reference to Ronald Reagan's son, one of his sons. And the thing I think Mr. Reagan was trying to convey, he don't want his people to put their religious perspective upon them. Everybody has their own right to believe what they believe. You know, they got a lot of Christians in that legislative house and legislative body, even the Republican and Democratic Party, who actually believe in killing people, getting in their automatic weapon, AR, and going out, such as the person they caught in, that was a suburb of Houston, Dallas, where they had the shooting at Houston, huh?
Not exactly sure.
Dallas.
Okay.
The mass shooting in Dallas. Yeah, well, that he was a white. Even though he had a Hispanic name, he was a white supremacist. He supported white supremacist views, and he supported Christian identity views. So everything about being in a certain religious category does not mean you believe in goodness.
Caller, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
Come here.
You're on.
Yes, ma'am. I believe when we stand together, we can win. When we divide ourselves, we cannot win. It's important that we stand together, fight together, stay together, stick together, and be together. We cannot be crawfishing one another. I cannot be jealous of my sister, envy of my brother, in order to gain my rights. I think together, when we come as a community, when we come as people together and stand, this is Martin Luther King, they stood with him. But together, we can get things done. Divided, we cannot. If we don't march together, if we don't walk together, it won't happen for us. I hate to say it, we'd be going backwards instead of going forward. And I would like to move forward, not backwards. That's all I have to say.
Yes.
Attorney Drew, I got one more for you. One more good House bill they're trying to advance. House Bill 65. If a person breaks into your home while someone is inside, could soon be charged as a violent criminal in the state of Louisiana, eliminating the defendant opportunity for probation. That's pertaining to what if you have simple burglary or even simple burglary, like breaking in somebody's house while they're there.
All of that.
What was the?
I don't know about that.
What is simple burglary anyway? What is it defined as?
I can pull up the statute for you, so I can tell you exactly what it is. And I had the 14th Amendment pulled up. I mean, I didn't understand what he wanted me to tell y'all about the 14th Amendment. Remember, he asked.
Oh yes. I know one good man that listen to me, another one good man. I know another good person to remember in history is John Brown. John Brown in the 1800s. He was a U.S. He was against slavery, and he was executed after raiding a government arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, with the intentions of arming slaves and starting a revolt. He became a hero of the abolitionists in the Civil War, and he's commemorated in the song John Brown's Body. And I had seen it on Mr. Kevin's show. as one of his honorees, which was John Brown, and it was rightfully
It was a famous abolitionist. Yes.
Yeah. It was definitely that.
Yeah, but you see, it's Sister Khadija, I was explaining, they want to change the crime of simple burglary, which you could get probation to a violent felony situation where you probably won't get probation. And that's one of the bills they're trying to advance in the House. I don't know if they...
But that's a lower burglary. So simple burglary. So this is, y'all,
Yeah.
Louisiana Revised Statute 14:62. So it's the unauthorized entering of any dwelling, vehicle, watercraft, or other structure, movable or immovable, or any cemetery with the intent to commit a felony or any theft therein. So that's basically you going into someone's house, place of abode, or like they said, a cemetery with the intent to commit a felony or a theft. So you have people that go into cemeteries to dig up bodies and to get jewelry and stuff like that. So that's what they're talking about. Or if you're entering somebody's house, I don't know, maybe to steal something out of the house. That's what they're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily make it violent, though, like they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lower grade of a burglary. So I don't know about that one.
Well, yeah, but we only have like a few minutes.
I'm glad the attorney spent the whole day with us. Not the whole day.
Yeah, thank
Too
you.
bad we didn't have any crayfish. I'm
I
saying a
w-
different
I
word.
wish you did.
Yeah, how you
Crayfish,
enjoyed your
crawfish.
weekend? How you enjoyed your weekend? We haven't seen you in a while, but good to see you in here.
Well, y'all have heard me, and I mean, like I told them at the beginning of the segment, that if y'all don't hear me, it's not my fault.
Yeah, 'cause
That's right.
Brother Jay doesn't return calls. It's not purposely done. I'm trying to avoid.
No, I know you get busy. I'm just
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. Well, Sister Khadija had a wonderful show on a second segment. Actually, second segment of Phenomenal Women on your third.
Third.
Your third.
Be the third.
Where we had Miss Monroe Brown from North Louisiana, from Shreveport, activist and a great R&B entertainer. And that was a great visit. And it's a talk show. It's on AOC website. It's also on Facebook. Just go to shout out to Brother Shahid, your Finders Keepers. Give him a shout out if you're in the area. Check him out. Certainly we'll be doing another show, and we promise, we apologize, we wasn't able to get Miss Avina Dugas, the lady who had the Guinness World Record of the biggest afro from the Guinness Book of World Records, and she's also a natural hair care expert. We'll have her on, I promise. She said she had some inconvenient situation going on. If you recall, last Saturday was a lot of inclement weather. It's like every time I roll up to the station on Saturday, some bad weather. A lightning strike one time, knock us off the air. Then when I came into Lafayette and Highway 9, I even posted it. It was a complete whiteout. People were pulling on the side of the road last Saturday. That's how bad the weather. So we having a lot of inclement weather in the morning that always rolled through. So hopefully we can stay on the air here at 88.3 and continue to bring these great programs. And shout out to Mr. John Freeman and Charlie for helping facilitating these wonderful shows.
Right, we got caller. Caller, you have a quick question or comment? You have a quick question or comment? You're on.
Caller.
Okay. Caller, you have a quick question or comment? You're on.
Yes, I have a quick comment. Hey, guys, Brother Jay and Sister Khadija, this is Coach.
Thank you.
Make it quick. Guys, I want y'all to start paying attention to people and their peace among themselves. Guys, what I've been paying attention to is people and peace within themselves. The many things that's happening around us in our world, in our municipalities, in our states, decisions being made, and everything that we deal with day to day. I want you to pay attention to your own peace, and maybe if you can
look to your left and your right and see the neighbors, no matter who they are, because neighbors are the ones that drive in all the cars, and they're all different races. Guys, I'm looking and I'm watching how the peace of a person it's almost like dissolving, moment by moment, minute by minute, second by second, day by day, month by month, year by year, whatever. Guys, we are seeing how all of what we're dealing with is taking our peace away. And I find that just with that makes everybody struggle to do the things that we daily would do without no problem.
Right.
Now it's a struggle. Before the pandemic it was, during the pandemic, and it is now. It's almost like we put down something that we were doing before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and then we picked it up again after the pandemic. Guys, I'm going to close with this. Pay attention to each other's peacefulness. We are losing our peace. And if that continues, the chaos that we see, it continues too. Guys, fight for your peace, no matter what. Fight to hold your peace, because that's what's being attacked. That's one of the things. That's a lot. That's one of the things I feel that's attacked. Pay attention. Don't let nobody steal your peace from you. Thank you, guys. So have a good morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Caller, you have a quick question or comment?
Sister Sipayo, can I make a statement off the air, please?
Yes, you could go. Oh, you want off the air?
Off the air.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
And Attorney Dwight.
Hello.
Thank you again for coming in. And like I said, certainly with the new laws of the book, you will have a lot more extra work. I know I say that tongue in cheek, but seriously, the question should be asked to the electorate out there, the people who really care, like such as myself. Do we really need all these laws? And I would like for them always to show us why we need them. There's never any reasoning.
But it's always so much.
No.
Right. But it's always so much to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like some of that stuff is redundant.
You know, even the law school, I don't know if the law schools have time to keep up because, generally they would want to know something, or advocacy groups would, that connected to them would inform them, and they would inform the public. Because right now, we were supposed to have the executive director from the ACLU on, and she's so busy, she actually had to cancel her appearance on this radio show because there's so much going on, and that's so crazy, man, in this day and age.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night. They probably keep her busy because it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And if somebody wants to get in contact with you or get some references from you.
Absolutely. So if y'all need to get in contact with me, y'all can contact me at 337-534-4020. Once again, 337-534-4020.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a good DJ. Remind me to dock you for being on the phone.
Yeah, well, I just got some information in
okay.
Mm-hmm. I can't confirm it,
mm-hmm.
And you didn't say nothing about it, so we're going to just have to wait until we could check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And in closing, I wanted to say that, every day that we wake up and we could move and take care of our business per se, we definitely have to thank the goddesses for keeping us in the right type of health. There's wars that's horrific from the Sudan all the way to the Middle East. I mean, and just seeing all of this type of horrific incidents going on, we got to be mindful that our privileges are some of our privileges that we have here. We could say that is much better in other areas, but the gun violence on you look like me, you sound like me, you smell like me is just out the box, really bad. You have people that are constantly trying to figure out what to do with this gun violence. As a matter of fact, they have some kind of little piece on it that you could put in a weapon. I mean, in a gun that, you know, you may shoot the gun like maybe 5 or 6 times around, like maybe one,
Right.
2 round, 2 round, 3 round. There's something that you just put in the gun that makes it go from 50 to 100 in no time.
Yeah.
So
Automatic.
it's like, who invented that?
Semi-automatic.
Who invented
Yeah,
that?
a bunch of people did, and now you could build guns. You could go to Amazon, get the plans. Amazon just not cracking down, or eBay, get the plans and use a 3D printer and print you the prominent pieces. You might not have all the pieces. All you have to do is after that purchase the ammunition. So I want to say have a good Mother's Day weekend, Sister Khadijah.
Every
and
day,
Attorney Dwight.
every day is Mother's Day. Every day.
Thank you.
Okay.
Every day, and we can't be mothers without the father, so we want to thank Father so much for giving us our children.
She's not my type. Remember that.
Thanks for my child.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Cheryl
Yeah, remember
Pepsi.
that song?
Cheryl
Put down
Pepsi.
those guns and pick up those books
Cheryl Pepsi Ron.
and listen to what I'm getting ready to put down.